So without further ado, let's get into How to Eat Well and Have Fun in Rochester by Will Dandred. You might be a freshman. You might be really unfamiliar with the area. I'm going to be your tour guide here and show you what to do. Rule number 1, please get a car. I'm sorry, but you really need a car to get around here if you want to go off campus, if you want to have fun off campus. Dude, get a friend with a car. That's my last point. Get a fiery Prius or a lifted smart car for extra points. You get biking around Henrietta, it's a little dangerous. I used to do it. I biked to Target one time, never again. Walking around Henrietta, it's just kind of sad because there's 5 lanes of traffic going by you all the time. So try to get a car, try to get a friend with a car. It's really the best way to do it. Addressing the negativity surrounding Rochester and West New York. Much of upstate New York gets a reputation of being kind of boring and sad, but I don't think Rochester has to be that way. You just got to look for the fun opportunities. And Rochester, it gets a bad rap for being unsafe, but honestly, I don't think it's as hyped up as it is. And I think Rochester can be a pretty safe place in a lot of areas. And if you just, it's a city, you got to treat it with respect. You got to take your safety seriously. Don't walk on the sidewalk alone at night and stuff like that. But Rochester definitely has a Rust Belt past, but I think it's on the rise, and a lot of other people think that too. And Rochester's winters are bad, but they're not awful. They're very tenable, but they're still a little bad. And you want to savor those nature and outdoor activities you enjoy for the first couple weeks and the last couple weeks of the academic year. Rule number 2, adapt to winter. If you're going to spend the vast majority of your academic year in the winter, you got to find a way to adapt to it, because otherwise the winter can be a little bit sad. You got to try out winter's hobbies and interests. You got to learn that no weather is too cold as long as you have enough clothes on. And basically, well, there's a lot of other things to enjoy in the winter, making hearty meals, fires, candles, hot drinks, staying in the hole just got a lot cozier and things like that. If you suspect you're suffering from seasonal depression, also reach out for help. You got to adapt to the winter. It's a big part of Rochester. You're going to spend a lot of your year in the winter. And you can still do most of what you enjoy. Fun things to do. If it's warm outside, it's time to go outside. There's a lot of great nature around here. You got Letchworth. Why are you shaking your hand? There's a lot of great nature around here. If you want to do a little day trip, you got Letchworth and Watkins Glen not too far away. Those are really impressive places. If you want to go... Okay. If you want to go further away, we got the Adirondacks, which is a great region. Lots of beautiful stuff up in Canada. If you're into nature, this is a great place to be. Highland Park is a great park up in the center city, not in the center city, but a little south, south of South Wedge. And there's a lot of great stuff going on there. They have the yearly flower festival there. There's also just a lot of festivals this time of year. You might look, if you look on the Visiting Rochester website, every single weekend there's a new festival going on. And if it's something that interests you, that's a great place to go. There's a Rochester Public Market every single weekend on Saturday, and I think Sunday for reduced hours. And every single weekend they're running lots of local produce, local food, lots of great stuff there. And Rochester Red Wings, I've heard a lot of good things. They're a great baseball team in the area. It's like a minor league team, but it's a lot of fun. If it's fall, there's lots of farms around Rochester, lots of fun stuff to do there. And also another thing you can do is go to the beach, go to Hamlin. It's the best if you can make the drive. Because, last weekend I went to the beach up in Ontario Beach, and it was completely closed for swimming because there's too much pollution and it kind of smelled bad. So maybe try to get a little further away from the city. It's still great, guys, don't worry. And when it gets colder, you got to adapt. You got to go to those hockey games. So much fun. This is the cheapest good hockey you're going to have in your whole life. Take advantage. And there's lots of great shopping and thrifting around Rochester. Sometimes it's good to just go to a thrift store and just buy random silly things that you don't need because it's $2. Why not? Just buy stuff. There's many museums. You got the Strong Museum of Play. You got the Eastman Museum. You got the Susan B. Anthony Museum house thing. There's lots of stuff to learn about. Rochester has a big history. It used to be a lot more prominent than it is now, unfortunately. But, there's a lot of history here for that reason. And there's plenty of places to ice skate in the winter. There's indoor and outdoor skating in the winter. And the Rochester Holiday Village opens up in December. That's also a great thing to do. Lots of fun. They got all sorts of holiday stuff and little shops. It's a great thing to do. Skiing and snowboarding is not too far away if you're into those winter sports and activities like I talked about earlier. If you want to adapt to the culture of winter, you got to go skiing and snowboarding. The walkable parts of Rochester with things to do. I'm going to be honest, much of Rochester, not super walkable, not the best place to just walk around and go to stores and stuff, but there are some great neighborhoods. You got South Wedge, Neighborhood of the Arts is a beautiful area. They have the really nice art museum there that's run by the University of Rochester. Park Ave is a small walkable strip with lots of cool foods and stores. South Wedge has a lot of restaurants and shops. And then if you're looking for something a little fancy, Pittsford is the very wealthy area around here. They got all sorts of nice little walkable on the Erie Canal, little shops. Everything's a little expensive, but it's still a nice area. And keep in mind, I'm going to be dropping a lot of places and restaurants in here, and this will be posted on the YouTube. So if you need that, if you need any of them, just refer back. So if you want to escape Rochester, we got some cool stuff around. We got Toronto 3 hours away. It's one of the most diverse cities in North America. You can basically find anything you want in Toronto. Buffalo, it's about an hour away. You got great wings, you got sports, you got a lot of concerts will come through Buffalo, and especially every tour will come through Toronto. There's things to do not too far, Finger Lakes, and a lot of other lakes in New York. Maybe you rent a house for a weekend or something like that, or just go to the lake, have some fun. The Adirondacks are about 5 hours away usually, and that's where you can do some really nice backcountry camping and hiking and things like that if you're into some more hardcore nature. In pursuit of the finest eats, I'm going to drop some logic, some facts about the best places to eat in Rochester. Number one, we're starting off touristy. These are the places everyone knows about. These are the places your parents come to town. It's like, ooh, what's Rochester like? And then this is where you take them. You know, this is what's famous. The best garbage plate, you go to Dogtown. Dinosaur Barbecue is always pretty solid. That's just straight in the heart of the city. Genesee Brew House is also another tourist favorite. These are all good places to go if you're, Genesee Brew House. Got fans. Eating well too. These are places everyone knows and loves. You know, you have a group of friends, someone's got a car, and you're like, where are we going to dinner tonight? These are places you can drop. Everyone's going to be like, okay, that sounds good, we're going. OG Dumpling House, super close to campus, always completely filled with RIT students, and the soup dumplings will change your life in the winter. And if it's cold outside, I can't even describe, just the soup dumplings are amazing. Sing Sal is also a great place. It's very popular within RITSEC, at least the RITSEC circles. Other people might not be as familiar, but Sing Sal is another great place. Just Chicken, it's a great place. They're open really late. Fun fact, I kind of began considering running for RITSEC, began considering RITSEC e-board while eating my chicken tenders at 1 a.m. at Just Chicken. A little fact. Jeremiah's Tavern, they got lots of screens, and they got some of the best chicken wings around. McGregor's is also a solid pick if you just want some Irish pub food right on the edge of campus, super easy to get to. That's probably one place you could even walk to if you wanted. Soup is your best friend in the winter, the most important food group. The best pho you're going to find around here is C Restaurant up in Strong near University of Rochester. Rock City Pho, I haven't heard too much about it. It looks a little bit more expensive.
So good.
Is it that good?
So good.
Okay, Rock City Pho is also pretty good. Really? Is it worth the price, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got two really good pho places. Like one's a little bit north, one's like directly south of it, very close together. You got good soup around here. The best ramen you're gonna find is probably Rock City Ramen. Furoshiki's overrated. I know it's gonna be controversial, but Furoshiki's ramen is mid, in my opinion. I'm sorry. K-Pot is opening up. We're about to have some good hot pot in Henrietta, which is hype because K-Pot's all around like New York City, New Jersey, Philly, everywhere. And now they're opening up a Rochester location. And hot pot is better than Korean barbecue, and it's amazing. Eating well, number 4, West New York pizza is sad. If you're from the New York City metro area, you got to prepare to be disappointed. There is great Detroit-style pizza here. If any of you guys know what Detroit-style pizza, it's like a pan pizza, and then they put like the cheese on it, and then the sauce on top. Like it sounds really freaky, but like it's really good. And Pizza Wizard makes really good Detroit-style pizza. The best New York City style you're gonna find out here is Peels on Wheels, which is like a more fancy, like elevated style. And then Pie Craft and Fire Crust are also supposed to be passable. I haven't tried them. I think I got kind of depressed in my pursuit of good pizza. I'm just from New Jersey, guys. And also another note, there's not really any good bagels around here. I've tried them all. I'm sorry. But we got lots of, what? I'm sorry, no, they're not. I've been to Bagel Land and Soho. Those are supposed to be the top 2. I'm not impressed. I'm sorry. Bruger? Okay, we're not even going to talk about Brugger's right now. Do you have something to say?
If there's one thing that you can trust about people from New Jersey, it's their taste in bagels.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Will is spitting.
I'm a bagel connoisseur. No, that's kind of my thing. Eating one number 5, you got to expand your horizons. You might be, what? Yeah, well, West New York doesn't have the reputation of being super diverse, but in Henrietta, you got a lot of options. You can get great Ukrainian food. Shout out to Leah Kavares. You got a lot of good Indian food. And maybe you're just eating like common chicken nuggets and common subs, and you just want to like taste some spice on your tongue for once. And you got Ethiopian food, Pakistani food, Malaysian food, Dominican food, Jamaican food, Thai food, Korean food. You got all of these types of food right here within a 15-minute drive. All of these restaurants are very highly rated. There's lots of good places to go. And then if you got some fancy feasts, you know, you're taking out your significant other, you want to impress them. You know, parents are in town, you want to spend their money. These are the places. Hey, it happens. Maybe you slip your parents like a restaurant that's a little bit more expensive, and they take you there. Like, Polizzi's, that's just a great all-around restaurant. It's like a little bit of like Greek and Italian influence, and it's food very worthy of the price. It's not too expensive. Owl House is a really good place. It's a kind of like a small restaurant, more like farm to table, ingredients focused, a little bit plant-based focused. They have a lot of good options. And if co-op money is really burning a hole in your pocket, then you got Reds, Rooney's, and Rue. They'll really charge you a lot of money, but they'll really make you an amazing meal. And then these are all my favorite spots. These are places that I'm personally passionate about, and these are the places you're going to want to see. You know, these are places you want to go. So, Yukoso Sushi, best sushi in Rochester, I'm calling it. Honorable mention, though, is Tokyo Japanese Restaurant just here in Henrietta. They have great sushi and like really good hibachi as well, if you want like a more general Japanese restaurant. Book Eater, I don't think this one's actually that popular, but I'm a huge coffee person, and I think Book Eater is easily the best cafe in Rochester, and I've tried almost all of them. It's basically a bookstore that's also a cafe in the front, and then they serve like a small menu of just really good lunch items. It's some of the best like espresso and coffee I've had, and they just have an amazing vibe there. Pita Restaurant, this one's also not super known. It's in the college town of University of Rochester, and they have like really cheap food, and it's all like super good stuff. They have like these little like pizza things I'm forgetting the name of, I forget, but the falafel is probably the best I've had in my whole life, and you can get a falafel sandwich for like $6. Halal and Out, also a really good place that's super cheap. They're open late. And like $10, you get like this huge thing of like falafel and rice and or even like chicken and lamb, and it's all $10. And then they have a lot of other stuff that's cheaper. If you're looking for a great brunch, Caramel Bar and Bakery is the place for you. The best dessert, you're gonna go to Phillips European, and then Chicken Out. This one's not like super underground, but great hot chicken in downtown. It's a great place. So in summary, Rochester can be interesting. You just got to put a little effort into it. It's not like New York City where you're just going to like go anywhere and it's going to be super interesting. You know, you got to drive around. You got to do a little bit of research, but Rochester can really be a great place. And then you kind of do need a car to have fun off campus. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. That's probably the worst part of it all, but once you get a car, you'll feel that sense of freedom. And I just imagine the first time I drove my car on campus, I just felt like a wave of freedom like fall over me. I could go anywhere. It's just crazy. I really recommend having a car or having a friend with a car. And then with these long winters, I want you guys to savor the warm weather now. Go outside, do all your outdoor hobbies, and then find some new hobbies to take on in the winter, new activities that you like. And that's all I have. Thank you.